Eyup, gap between Premier League and Championship is massive. It's never ending how big it's getting. But there are some players that could definitely hack that step up. And I have got 22 players, including 3 teams that have come down, by the way, and 3 that have come up. Next year's Championship, I've got 22 lads that I genuinely think could do a job in Premier League. And for 3 coming up, Charlton, Wrexham and Birmingham, there's obviously 1. I've got 1 lad that I think could honestly manage that step up. I'm curious to know if anybody else agrees with this. But for me, the only player from League One this season that I think could immediately be one of the best players in Championship is Clara at Birmingham. He is one of the best centre-halves I've seen at that level. Full stop, the best. I do think the word Rolls Royce gets chucked about probably a little bit too easy these days. But my goodness gracious me, I don't think I saw that bloke sprint once. I never saw him get out of first gear. He were gliding past strikers. No, never mind the defensive side of things. He would pick ball up and run past someone. I think he is top draw. And there won't be many centre-backs in Championship next season that can talk to this bloke. I think Clara could seriously do a job at someone like Burnley. Like one of 3 promoted sides, I think he could go in and do a job straight away. The only player that I've coming up from League One that I think is too good for Championship already is Clara. Now, you're going to get some weirdos that'll cry that I ain't got like Pack and Iwata in there. I think that's probably taking piss a little bit too much. There's no one else from League One. Nobody at Charlton, nobody at Wrexham, definitely. And I don't think anybody else, really, from Birmingham could hack it in Premier League. I think they'll have to change a lot of players quickly if they want to progress up league quite fast, like Wrexham have been doing for years on end. But Clara, I think, could do it. So that means, obviously, I've got note from Wrexham and Charlton as well. But going from this season's finishers and working his way upwards, Hull have got some very good players. None of them are too good for Championship, I would say. Preston, same again, no. Derby, Ebou Adams, man, honestly, I think he could very easily do a job. Again, another proper bottom-feeding Prem side. Like, again, a Burnley, Sunderland, Leeds, Wolves, West Ham, one of them. I do think he could go in and make squad. That's the standards that I'm setting here. I think Ebou Adams is probably good enough. Stoke, Johansson, for me, I don't think that's even up for debate. Ebou Adams, you might like disagree with me on that one. Johansson is a top 3 goalkeeper in this division. Easily, without even trying it. For a side that has finished 18th, for God's sake. He's gone from finishing dead last in league with Rotherham and being the best player to finishing 18th with Stoke and being the best player. You put this guy in net for, honestly, West Ham. He's better than Ramsdale, that's for damn sure. If Ramsdale's going for 25 million quid, I'm sorry. Nah, Johansson is one of the best steals in this century by Stoke. And he could 100% start for a couple of crap Prem sides. He's better than Meslier, 100%. He's better than Patterson at Sunderland. He's better than anything that West Ham have got. He's a top keeper. And again, if Ramsdale's going for 25 million quid to West Ham, then good golly, Miss Molly, he should be going for 50. Obviously, Stoke have got another couple decent players, like Berger, for example. But Prem standard, no way. I think Johansson's the only one. Oxford have got nothing too ridiculous. They've got a very good core, Oxford, but nothing that's too good for them. Portsmouth, yeah, you've got Colby Bishop and Murphy, who are 2 top players, especially for like bottom sides in this division. Portsmouth finished 16th. 2 very good players. But nowhere near this level of standard that we're talking about with other sort of lads. So, note at Portsmouth. QPR, same again. I don't think they've got anything. The best player's out on loan, Callum, but he's not a Premier League striker. I've seen like Sheffield United and Bristol City going for him. So, he's a top Championship player. I stand by that. But he's not more than that. Watford, some top level players here. It's such a mismatch with level of ability throughout that squad. But Watford, I think, are the first team that I'm going to talk about here that have got 2 that are probably too good for this. That Georgian fella, for me, has taken plaudits all season. And he's definitely one of the 2 on this list, so I'm going to put him on right now. I can't even say his name. Chak Videtsi, something like that. Baller. Seriously, very intelligent footballer. His weight of pass is perfect. Again, could definitely do a job at 1 at 3 that's gone up. But I think the best player that Watford have got is Loser. Why don't we call him Winner, guys? You know? No, he's serious, him. He's such a good player. It's easy to just think about that screaming squid at Sunderland and then that just be, oh my God, he can do this. But on a week to week, obviously I don't watch him 24/7, but on the highlights and stuff every single game, he just runs show, man. Obviously I'm going off limited footage here and odd game that you watch of him, but in the bits that I see of that man, wow. Watford, they've always been good on getting massive sales for players, haven't they? For typically a smaller side, Watford. I know they've had a lot of Premier League years recently, but attendances and everything like that, stature at club, they make some very, very good sales, and it's why they've been so successful in the last couple decades, really. And he will be another one in a very long line of players that they'll probably get 10 million quid for. He is fantastic, that lad. But moving on, Norwich. I think a lot of people, again, think I've probably got 2 here, but I'm not convinced. Sargent, 100% is one of the best 9s in this division. Goes without saying. Would 1,000,000% start for 3 that have gone up like that straight away. It'd be straight in the team. And again, I think he could probably do a job at like a West Ham or a Wolves. Honestly, Man United these days, why not? So Sargent's a no-brainer. Borja Sands, I'm just not convinced. I'm truly not convinced. If he is to get a Premier League move, I think it's going to be one of them where he gets loaned out to like Nice or Marseille. He's going to end up in France in literally 5 minutes because I don't think he is good enough, personally, for the Premier League. He had a very good purple patch, like, and obviously purple patch for a long time. It was first half of the season. But second half, he did not. It was very good when he was main man. When Sargent were injured and a lot of it were going through Sands, he was obviously standing out as this absolute mastermind. But since Sargent comes back and it's more of like a level playing field and he's got to create more chances for himself and it's not just all going through him, I'm not seeing what other people are. I might be wrong. I really might be wrong with this. And I think he's a good player for Championship. See, like definitely a top 6 standard player in Championship. But Premier League standard, I'm not having it. I think Sargent is, but Borja Sands in. Wednesday, if we go from start to finish, Charles in net. I mean, eventually it will be. But at a minute, is he good enough? Absolutely not. Defensively, the garbage. At middle at Park, like, is Bannon good enough? Obviously not. I mean, he is on like 60 grand a week, so somebody would have paid it to him if he were good enough ever. Gassama's good, but he's not good enough yet. They've got no up front, really, of that standard. The best player that Wednesday have got, if we're counting loans here, I think Charles, midfielder on loan from Southampton, might sound daft. I think he is. I really think he is. Which is ridiculous when you think about it, that Southampton have gone down as one of the worst Premier League sides ever, sent him out on loan. So he'd deem not good enough for that team. But I think if he went to Southampton tomorrow, he'd be the best player. And I think he's one of the only bright sparks that they've got coming into this league, really, because they're going to lose the other best 2 players, Southampton, which we'll come and talk about in a bit. But I think Shea Charles, again, any 3 that went up, the bottom 5 clump that we're talking about here, which is the 3 that's gone up, Wolves, West Ham, I think he would start for a few of them. I really do like that player. He is something. And I'll tell you what, he'd be thankful he's a loan, because he wouldn't have been paid if he were at Wednesday still, and he'd be getting relegated next year. Moving on up, Swansea. I think they've got a very good core squad, and they're not a million miles off from being a top side, Swansea, honestly. It's just a shame about some of the players leaving on frees and stuff like that. But I don't think any of them are proper standouts, personally, so I would have no one at Swansea. Middlesbrough. Some very big names here. Some very, very big names. And I've got 2 that I think are good enough. None at defence. The keeper, Travers, you could maybe argue, but I don't think he's Prem standard. I would have him top Championship. Aidan Hackney. And again, if we're playing loans, Ben Doak, I think are the 2 that Middlesbrough have got that are actually good enough. Finazar's absolute stat pad machine in this division. Double figures for goals and assists each. Like, he's putting him away for fun, that lad. But it's like taking candy off a Babas in this division, isn't it? Like, could he pull any of them numbers in Premier League? Absolutely not. I think if he were to get a full season at Premier, come away with 2 goals, 3 assists, dead last. I think that is Finazar's if he were to be in Premier League. Obviously, they got Whittaker as well, big money move from Plymouth. No. I think Latte Laugh when he were here. Again, probably not. The standouts for me, per position and who could do a job higher up, Hackney 100%. He's got the intelligence for it as well. And the sharpness, I think. And Ben Doak, I know he's on loan from Liverpool, he's a serious player. He will, in summer, go to a Premier League side. Definitely. He will get a loan in Premier League, probably. But they're the 2 that I've got from Borough. For a side that finished 10th, I've got 2 in there. West Brom. Again, defensively, no. I don't think Palmer who went to Ipswich were Prem standard, to be honest. I wouldn't have even added him in if he was still here. But defensively, no. Moat's fantastic. I love the bloke as a Barnsley fan. I absolutely adore him. But no, I'm not having it. I don't think the wingers are. I know there's a lot of speculation around winger that could be going to Birmingham Fellows. But I don't see that either as a Premier League standard player at minute. Armstrong on loan, no. Or he wouldn't have been sent out in January specifically. Obviously, they sent Charles out because he's younger and he can get a full season in men's football. Armstrong at that age, no. Madger maybe. But again, I think there's much better 9s in this division. Like Sargent is... the Madger's very good, by the way, but Sargent's twice player that he is. I'm going to have to say no for West Brom. They've got a lot of top Championship players, don't get me wrong. But any that are actually better than this league or warrant a much bigger club than West Brom, I don't think so. I'm going to say no for West Brom and just move on. And then moving up 1 position and 2 points to Millwall. I've got 2 lads here that I think are. Tanganga goes without saying. Like, he's got a release clause at 1.2 million quid. Could see West Ham flirting with him. Millwall, the core of that squad, and the standard level for out is probably about 15th. And they've got the odd, seriously, fantastic player. And Tanganga is definitely one of them. One of the best centre-halves in this division, comfortably. And for a £1.2 million release clause to Premier League sides, West Ham, all 3 that have gone up, West Ham, Wolves, honestly, Man United, are for these teams in Premier League could do much worse than getting a free hit Tanganga to go on the bench at very least. He would get it squad for at least half of that league. I am truly convinced. And I know the gap is absolutely massive, but Tanganga is one that could easily make that step. So I've got him in there as well. And I've got another one. Speaking of strikers that I think are better than Badger, I think Millwall have got one, man. Ivanovic, baller. The level of goal that he's scoring at that age, in a side that creates very little realistically. Millwall are not the most free-flowing attacking side ever, rather. They're defensively quite structured and obviously are well-drilled as a team. Going forward, they've scored 47 goals and he's on double figures. He is very good. Feeding off scraps for the most part as well. And some goals he scored this year. That one at Luton sticks out and made away that were on telly at F12, I think. Some sides at bottom of Premier League could do a lot worse than him. I just don't Millwall keep him personally, but he's a very good player. Blackburn finished 7th. I've got nothing. Can't lie. I think you're looking at your managers for how good you've been this season. Eustace, obviously fantastic. Ismail got a lot of flack at start with a honkingly shit squad that he inherited, by the way. Towards back end of the season, they had 5 wins and a draw in the last 6 games, I believe, to just miss out on last day. They've got no standouts, Blackburn, so I'm going to have to disagree, unfortunately, that they've got anybody. Moving into playoff losers from this season, Bristol City. Again, I've got nothing. In middle at part, they're very good. Very good. They've probably got one of the best midfield threes, I would say, in division anyway. But how many of them are actually standouts and could hack it in Premier League? I've got nil, respectfully. Top Championship ones, definitely, but Premier League, no. 5th, and looking at Cov. Again, some very big names here. Really big names. Ben Sheaf, Adji Wright, Mason Clark. They've got some top players they have. But I've only got one that I think could seriously hack it in Premier League. And that is Rodoni. And that's honestly it. Fowler sources informed me that it were going to Everton for 15 million quid. The second the lost to Sunderland, I was told that it were effectively deal done and it's just a matter of time now. Everything were agreed already. Now, Fowler sources might be a steaming pile of dog shit. And if they are, I apologise, but I do think he's going to Everton Rodoni. And he'd be perfect for Moyes. Imagine that lad in a Moyes team. Like late runs into box, good in air, physical. Oh, mate, he's perfect. He's a serious player, Rodoni. Very good. But he's only one. For a side that's got some biggest names in this league, I would say, personnel-wise, when you look through the squad, you'd struggle to find a better squad than Coventry have got. I do think they've only got one player at the minute that's actually good enough at league above, which speaks volumes to gap. Sheffield United, it's dodgy this, because obviously this were a Premier League side. This time last year, they just come down. So this is quite tough, and I think people might have more than I have here. I have got 3 players that Sheffield United have actually got that I think could do a job in Premier League, and I think people have probably got different ones to me. Cooper in net, I don't think people take seriously enough. He's brilliant. He's so good. And again, looking through 3 teams that have gone up, is Trafford better than him? It's up in air. People will probably say yeah on that one. But he's better than Leeds keeper and Sunderland's keeper. And again, West Ham, Wolves, the majority of the crap sides in that division would have Cooper starting for him if they had him at the club. 100%. If he was there in that squad, it would start for him. So Cooper's my first one. Ainel Dave, that Bosnian centre-half. I'm not seeing it. Seriously, I'm not seeing it. He's a good defender at this level, 100%. Is he a Premier League defender? Absolutely not. In my humble opinion. Could he go and do a job in Italy or something like that? Probably. Because it's same standard as Championship now. These are foreign leagues. You see AC Milan, like one of the biggest clubs in the world, get done by Bournemouth. The standard's just wild. Like, Premier League's a different world now. And I don't think he could hack it in other leagues, yeah, but not a Premier League defender for me. Burrows, not yet. For me, I'm a big advocate of that signing from Peterborough. Like, absolute no-brainer for the amount of money that they spent. Top. You couldn't have spent money better than that. And he's very good going forward for a fullback. But is he good enough defensively for Premier League? No. Will he be in time? Probably, because he's still a young lad. But right here and now, if he were to get put in Premier League, he'd get rolled, smoked, bent over, slapped ass, everything. He would not stand a chance in Premier League, Burrows, right now. In time, yeah, but now, no. The other 2 lads that I've got with Cooper, I think now you could probably guess what it is. Sousa, 1,000,000% is built for it. Very physical. Just perfect for like a Fulham or a Palace. Like, I think he's better than some scraps down at bottom. I seriously think he could do a job for a mid-tabler with ease. Sousa is very good. And then obvious one that goes without saying, probably the best player in this league, Hamer, easily. Maybe you look at him and think he just resembles a little meatball, which he does. But he can shift that lad. Like, everybody saw him in playoff final. From a defensive corner, he breaks out. He's lightning. He's absolute lightning. If he weren't 15 stone, bitch off him whip it. He's got flames coming off his boots. But he's definitely physically ready for this league. And ability-wise, he blows everybody out at water, I think. In terms of a technically gifted footballer, There is not one in this division that matches him. So Eyup is definitely a Premier League standard footballer. Now looking at 3 teams that have come down, Southampton, Ipswich and Leicester, I do think they've all got a couple. Not many, but they've all got a couple, which is why they've been relegated. Like, end of the day, they're not all Premier League players, are they? Or they want to come down. Southampton first, who finished last. Obviously, they've got Shea Charles on loan at Southampton, so I think he'll come in and do a serious job if he's not sold. Fernandes, that midfielder, I've seen Leeds looking at him. There's a few looking at him, actually. I think Wolves and West Ham again. It's just same crop of teams all the time, but there's a few looking at him. He's a decent player, that Portuguese lad in middle. And then I do think people get carried away with his age and the potential side of things. But Diblin is, even right now, I think he is a Premier League player. He's very good. And I stand by what I just said. I think generally people overhype players just based on their age and thinking Football Manager, oh my God, future star there, the potential's crazy, which it is. But he's not a world beater yet. He probably might be. He's not, what is he, 18, 19, starting in Premier League every week. He's a very good footballer, and I think he would start for some other sides down the bottom as well, definitely. Is he good enough? Yeah. He's not a Ballon d'Or chaser yet, for everybody thinking that he is. But right now, I still think he's good enough. He's very good. Side that finished second bottom in Premier League, Ipswich. Obviously, Delap were, like, goes without saying that, he's gone to Chelsea for 30 million quid. He's going to be rotating striker for one of the biggest clubs in the country. So, that's that one. I do think they've got a couple others, though, that if they can keep hold of, I'd be very impressed. They've not done ridiculous for this current team in Premier League, because ultimately, the players that are surrounding them equally aren't as good. But if you plot one of these lads into, honestly, a mid-table side, a Palace, a Brentford, one of them, I do think they would hold their own very easily. And them 3 players that I've got are Jacob Greaves. I will not let this go. As far as centre-backs go, for gap between Championship and Premier League, I think he definitely teeters on this side more. I think he could 100% do a job for a few different sides in Premier League. Jacob Greaves is very good. Same as Leif Davis. I think he's just a better Burrows. Obviously, last time we were in this league, he were, second, maybe, in player at season ratings. He were up for it from left back. It's not had impact that I probably thought he were going to do in Premier League. But again, put him in an half-decent side, and I think he would. So I'd have him as well. And then Enciso as well. I know he's obviously not their player. He's on loan from Brighton. But I do think he will probably get a Premier League loan again. If Ipswich can pull him in on loan to Championship, I'll be gobsmackarooned. But I think he'll get a Premier League loan again. So they're the 3 lads that from Ipswich that I think are probably too good for this league. And then Leicester, for a side that actually won the thing, less than 10 years ago, I now think they've probably got 2 players that could hack it in Premier League, and that's it. And that's El Canouse, who they got from Ghent, I believe. He's a Belgian lad, isn't he? Another wonder kid. But he's a player you can see. Anytime you watch Leicester, I think he just stands out quite clearly as the best player. So I would say him. And then I weren't really convinced on him in Championship last time I were here, but I think he's been one of the best players, obviously apart from El Canouse, and that is Ndidi. I think it's easy to get caught on what he once was, which he obviously ain't now. He was very good. Like when they were challenging in and around Europe still, after the Premier League win years. Very good. He's not that anymore, and he's obviously aged a bit, but he gets about still, and I do think, again, could comfortably do a job at some Premier League sides down at bottom. So I'll have them 2 for Leicester. But that's it. That's literally all I've got. If I went down leagues and I did League One, for example, you'd probably pull 100 players out. But as far as the Championship to Premier League gap, I think there's 22 players that could seriously make that step up, and that's it. And that's where I'm at. And speaking of players that are potentially too good and could get transfers, on Monday nights, I'm going to do a live speaking about the transfers that have gone on at EFL for that last week. So I'm going to see you there on Monday, hopefully. It'll be in the live section on YouTube, obviously. While you're down there, like and subscribe, please. Thank you very much. Kiss. Love you all. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you in a bit. Ta-ra.
I say I'm a man, yes, I'm a mucker. I think of me saying as a right good looker. I say up that. Show us bit it.